Hello everybody, welcome back to another fig review. Doo-doo-doo. Oh my goodness guys, this has been like 3 figures in a row for me that are really big, but I have abandoned the figure pile that I have. This has recently come in the mail along with 2 other figures that I'm really excited to open and review, but this one is kind of one that I'm getting semi on time and hasn't been held in a warehouse for a long time, so I'm so excited to be opening the Pop-Up Parade Panty and Stocking set. As someone who has since high school stared longingly at the Panty and Stocking altar figures, and now they are so ridiculously expensive that I never would get them, I was so excited to see these because they are really nice looking pop-up figures. They also have Panty and Stocking come together, which is also really nice because usually they're sold separately and then you have one and then you don't have the other one, and then if you miss the other one it gets more expensive later. I currently have a stocking Nendoroid who is by herself and I hate that she's by herself, but I also don't want to spend like $100 or something silly goofy on a Nendoroid. Anyways, let's go ahead, take a look at her. Take a look at hers. This is in a cool holographic box. This is technically a Pop-Up Parade L. I wonder if it's just L because there's 2 figures in here. I don't think these are larger than normal Pop-Up Parades. I could be wrong though, I don't know. I buy things because I think they look nice and then I get here and I'm pleasantly surprised by the specs that I didn't look at. It's a bit hard to look at because of the holographic stuff on there, but you can see there's the picture of the girls on the front. These are their season 1 outfits. I'm excited to see if there's a season 2 outfits figures that get released if I haven't already missed them. I love how bright and colorful the box is with the pinks, the yellows. This is really cute, the pink and blue. You and your best friend, are you the pink one or the blue one? A very important question. Oh, and it's like that on the side too with the pink and blue. Pink and blue up on the top and the bottom. Who cares about that? Let's get them out though. I'm excited to see these because pop-up parades are nice and affordable figures. However, typically that can also come with, man, this is affordable, but it sure looks affordable. But usually pop-up parades, they are a step above of a lot of prize figures, depending on the prize figure that you're getting. I've kind of felt like for my pop-up parades, I've had more mediocre or bad ones than good ones, especially because while they are usually a little bit more expensive than prize figures, I don't know if the quality difference is worth the price that they end up being. Their quality is so all over the place, so I'm hoping these end up being nice. The pictures look good. Yeah, there's that. And you can see this looks like a standard pop-up figure size, so we're not getting large figures. Maybe their wings are a little big because I see that their wings and their base are down here. Is this like a shared base? Oh yeah, well I'm gonna use this. Also, hate pop-up parade bases. Look at this ugly semi-opaque white plastic base. That is one of my biggest and consistent critiques with any pop-up parade. First of all, not all of their bases are matched. They do circles for some. You can see that these girls are circles. They'll do hexagons for the other ones. They'll do different colors. I'd prefer them all to just be this plain white, but some of them are like greens and reds and black. Like they'll choose random-ish kind of colors that just look really ugly. And on top of that, a plain base, fine. Honestly, I'd actually prefer if they were just black. White is at least okay, but it would be nice if it said like Panty and Stocking along the bottom, or even if they did like that purple holographic kind of look to kind of match the background on the front cover, because that is kind of a small reference to the show. I don't know. I think that'd just be nice, but it is what it is. Let's actually take them out though. Quick shell check for her though. So we got Panty first. I'll adjust the camera in a bit once I actually get them out of the box. And here is Stocking. Ooh, look how big her hair is. Yippee. Oh, why did I take everything out? And then also Panty has a big bubble wrap blankie with a protector around her arm and one more in between her hair. And then probably the same thing for stocking, but a big bubble wrap. Oh, she's got a little bit more. One on her hand, and she's got a little seat. All right, and since I'm using the shared base, this is pretty easy lineup, guys, but you can see where they're supposed to go. You just match up the pegs. There does seem to be a right or wrong way to put them in, but it is a tight squeeze. I think they could have put an extra centimeter in between them here. Look how close. I mean, her stocking's hair is going to get on Panty's skirt. Not great. Maybe there's a good reason to have them on a separate base, but I do like having them together. I think that is much cuter. So anyways, let's get a bit of a better angle and take a closer look. All right, so right off the bat, before looking closer, I of course think this pose is great. It's a direct reference to the show. There are some things I already see that I'm kind of going to be nitpicking as I go through this, but overall I really like the colors on this. I like the expressions in the face. I really like the way that they look together. So let's take an actual closer look at them. We'll start with Panty, and then we'll go to stocking, because I think going back and forth between the two, even though this is a shared figure, it'll just be better to do it all together. Starting off with Panty's face. Very nice. I absolutely love the sculpt of the hair, just because she already has such crazy hair. I love that you can see the little bit of blue makeup peeking out on, like over her eyes. She's got her like kind of nice teal blue eyeballs as well. I do really like the way that the eyeballs kind of actually look on her face here. I think that's very nice, very nice. Her mouth is actually sculpted in 3D, not just a print. So you can see that there's actual depth in the way that her face was sculpted. You know, we're gonna take instead of having the other one blocking the other constantly, we're gonna take her back off. She has all of her earrings. She has the two on the bottom of the ear, and then she's got two more on the top of the ear. I love how glammed out they are. You can kind of see them peeking out on the other ear as well. It's a little bit harder to see though because of all of her bangs though. Now the paint can get a little bit chunky on some of the pieces of her hair. You can see here all that texture on her bangs. That can kind of happen though, especially when you get cheaper figures. The paint just isn't always quite as well. Moving on down, we've got a little cute little pink heart on her chest. You can see that she's got her actual collarbone sculpt underneath there too. Again, the little tiny details are always nice. All the details of her just outfit in general, like her gold armbands and all of her rings, which I just love. The little heart ring. It's a little lumpy, but you know, it's still there. You guys know I also love painted nails. Pink painted nails. We love that they're different colors. She's got her gloves, all these different pieces. Now, once again, we're seeing some of that chunky paint though, right here on the wings. So I don't really love that. It's not even so much chunky paint. It's more of like a chunky sculpt here. So I do think that some of this sculpt and maybe paint combined, I think it's kind of working together, could be a little bit better, a little bit cleaner than what we're seeing currently. We have all of the rest of her big, beautiful hair. Look at them long locks. There is some variance in the color, so this is a bit of a deeper, more orangey gold, and then it gets lighter as it goes up the top. You can see that a little bit on her bangs as well. There is a little bit of that extra color there, which is probably why the paint is a bit thicker on these parts, because it is layered paint. She has her wings, her little tiny angel wings sticking out from behind her hair. Just is there a Panty and Stocking figure where they have like huge wings? That'd be really cool. Moving on down though, we have, I didn't mention it before either because I just kind of went quickly, but I do like that there's all these frills and like the fabric lining that you can see on her chest piece. All the different folds and stuff as well, I think are done really well. We have her belly, She is very teeny tiny. They have got her rib cage sculpted along with her abs and tummy. I mean, that makes sense for Panty. She is constantly mentioned in the show because Panty and Stocking that she is very skinny and small. So I like we got the 2 more of the cute pink hearts on the front, her big frilly skirt with like extra gold accompaniments there. The skirt is really cute, really fluffy. I love all of the layering on it. And then moving down, the shoes. We love the shoes on both of them. 2 good pairs of shoes. And the little wings that are sticking out. Now you can see again, we kind of get that like that chunky paint kind of going on here again, which like I said before, I don't love. You can literally see, I think I'm flattening it currently. So I don't love that, but that's if that's my only gripe for this figure, that's fine. These weren't like the most expensive. It was just that it was a 2-pack that it cost a bit more. I do love the gold paint. I like that it's at least painted on for the most part, at least from what I can see, pretty clearly on both feet. I like that she has her toenails painted too. She kind of, I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's in the show, so they kind of have to. I like that there is a little bit of shading on her knees as well, along with just the general sculpt. You can see that they are more defined, but there is that extra bit of like kind of peachy paint, which I think just kind of, again, helps it pop a bit more. So that is a nice bit of coloring. There was some in her tummy and on her elbows as well. I hadn't mentioned, my brain's kind of all over the place right now. So here it is, me mentioning it. It's for a function. I don't love the way that this looks, the support beam, but it is what it is. You kind of get what you get with support beams. But I just wish it wasn't this ugly color. One day I'm gonna go with all my pop-up parades and just like edit all of their bases to look not like crap. These toes are very flat. These toes are very flat now that I'm re-looking at them. They're super flat. I don't know. That maybe that's normal, but they look really flat now. I'm like kind of just sitting here yapping. The last thing about Panty, now this is for sure going to be my biggest complaint, guys, because it is literally her character. What is this? What is this? I know you guys know I gripe on white panties all the time. I know it's like a stupid thing that I can't get over because I think it's dumb when you have a figure and you give all this detail and then you just do this plain basic white panty. But what is this? This is Panty from Panty and Stocking, who has her hot pink neon underwear. Why is it white? Why is it white? Her booty cheeks are shaded. There is peach coloring in there, but why are they white? Why are they white? Again, for these characters specifically, that is very odd to me. And again, I know I gripe on this on many other figures where it doesn't matter that much. But it especially matters for these girls. Her name is Panty, for Christ's sake. That is the biggest deterrent from this figure, other than the paint maybe needing to be a bit better. However, everything else I really like on Panty. Anyways, let's do Stocking. Boom. So, Stocking's up first. Now, something I want to address specifically for her that I didn't really think the same thing for Panty, but I think her head sculpt, it feels a little low. It looks like, and to maybe try and help explain a bit more what I'm trying to say, it looks like she has her head bent down more than she should. Like, her head should be tilted up just a little bit more. Let me put her next to Panty so you can kind of see maybe a bit more of what I'm trying to say in comparison, since they are together. It is really hard to explain when you're looking through the camera lens versus looking in person. I don't know if I'll be able to get a very good angle so you can kind of understand what I'm saying. In person, how you can see it in the camera, like just looking at Stocking, this is how Stocking looks to me. When I have head on for Panty, I think she looks, it just looks like it's the right proportion. I don't know. Stocking's head just seems a little too low. Like you can angle it right if you're getting it exactly perfect, but it just doesn't actually look like that. I don't know. Again, I'm trying to explain as best I can, y'all, but it is a little bit hard. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too far into it, but it was the first thing I noticed when I was looking where I was like, it feels like something's not exactly lined up correctly. That is a small detraction. It's just something I noticed, and I don't think it's that bad because again, like I said, if you're looking at other angles, like it doesn't look that off. Like it looks okay from here and here, but for some reason when you see it like this, I don't know, it just looks like her head's too low. Anyways, first up we have her beautiful, gorgeous face. She also has those same tealy blue eyes as Stocking, or as Panty, but obviously they're a different shape because she kind of has more of a, I guess, droopy expression. That's a weird way to put it, but that's all I can think of right now. She does not have any extra makeup or accompaniments, but she still has a very cute face sculpt. You could see her mouth also 3D. I feel like she's missing a little something on her face. Maybe that's just because Stocking tends to be a little bit more simple in her like fully anime girl realized version. Like I think maybe one thing, she could use some earrings. I don't know if she actually has earrings in the show. She probably doesn't. I don't quite remember that, but I think it could help just add a little extra something for her. Even if it was maybe like her eyelashes, her bottom eyelashes were a little bit more intense, just because the simplified versions of Panty and Stocking's bottom eyelashes are obviously a bit lower. There just seems to be a little bit of something missing for me. Her hair itself is a little rough. That pink peeking out, you can see the purple is bleeding over onto top of the pink. There probably could be a little bit more pink on this for her bangs, because I mean, these front two, really bad. That's just not good. Same for this little piece right here. I mean, again, there's no other way to put it. That's just bad. That's a lot of purple bleeding over into the pink, and especially because that's kind of one of the main key components to Stocking's character design. I feel like it's a little sloppy. Now, granted, because we're talking about the hair, she's still got all the rest of her pink hair that you can see, so it's not like we're missing all of it, but I do think it could be a little bit nicer. Absolutely. Moving just a little bit down, she has a cute little collar on, a little choker Lolita style with the frills and a little silver in there as well. So nice, almost hidden, but not quite. She has her collarbone sculpt and the booba. She actually has booba. She has the shiny, glossy blue heart on the front of her dress, and she has all these silver bands. Her outfit's a little different where it's kind of more covering in some ways. So we have like the longer arm pieces here versus where Panty has like the armlets instead. She has silver bracelets and all the way up to her wrist. She doesn't really have as many rings, but she has a few little silver pieces where the gloves meet the top. Very important, she has blue nails. We love women with painted nails. It's so cute. It's a little sloppier on hers, I will say, but she still has them. And that's what matters to me. Look, even the inside ones are painted. Yippee! I love their bracelets, though. I love how big bangle bracelets. Before we move all the way down, we have the back of her hair. Her little bow is just kind of tacked onto the back. I think it could be like a scooch bigger, but that might just be anime accurate, so whatever. Her little wings. I will say I feel like some of this paint is a little bit better than what was on Panties, other than obviously the hair. Boo on the hair. The arms and the silver seem to be a bit better. So it's interesting how they vary. She's also got more shading on the white parts of her outfit. She's got shading in her elbows here. I can see like there's like little touches of purple or little touches of blue that were added. Oh my lord! Let's look on the other side. Same thing. That is a pretty intense seam. What's the word? Pretty intense seam line. They're gonna exist. They're hidden as well as they can be. You just can't avoid them. Moving down, because again, her hair, there's not really much else to say for her hair. There's some more paint for the pink and the blue on the back. It's not quite as bad as her bangs, but there's definitely some rough spots, like right here, a little bit on the both sides as well. Oh, that's straight up just a scratch. Cool. Stocking has definitely had a worse time in production, clearly. Moving down to her just chest area, I like the blue and the white that we have here. There's some little just like seam lines for the actual outfit itself. I think it could be a little bit cleaner. The paint seems, again, a bit thick. Once you see that layering of paint, it can really start getting like just a little too thick. And clearly like the blue and the white was adding up on this figure. We've got her waist, which I do like that you can tell that's kind of like a see-through fabric. All the little Lolita lacing on the front with the extra frills here too. Very cute, very cute. Her big boofy skirt with the little blue hearts on there. I love the little hearts on both her outfits. They're so cute. And I love that hers obviously is more of like a Lolita style, where panties kind of feels more like a traditional like goddess or kind of outfit, if that makes sense. I love the extra frills that she has on the bottom. And then we got her knees, her legs, her knees and her legs. Very nice. Again, sculpted and colored similar to how Panties was. We've got her cutesy shoe, much shorter. It's kind of interesting how, weirdly enough, I feel like Stocking's outfit feels more modern than Panties does, but Stocking feels like a more old-fashioned girl than Panty. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just kind of how like the design is. But she's got a silver shoe, short silver shoe, not a big strappy boot, and she's got little blue toes, little blue toes. And once again, this ugly support beam, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And similar to how we talked about on Panty, she has white underneath. Again, I don't think it needed to be something super fancy. I feel like too she'd be a striped panty girl, but I don't know. Maybe in the show when this happened, they didn't have their weapons because she's also not wearing her stockings, which maybe she just didn't have them at the time. I think that is correct. But I'm like, it doesn't matter that much. Just don't give them white underwear, please. She is noticeably thicker than Panty, though. I will say that is for sure thicker. So they did do their weight differences. Okay, and I almost forgot, but we need to measure these figures. And by almost forgot, I mean I did forget, and I'm coming back and recording this like a month later, I think. But before we measure it too, I also wanted to go ahead and grab a regular pop-up figure. So originally I thought that these were listed as large just because there's two of them, but they are a bit larger. For reference, Lucy is just at 7 inches, and that's including the base. And Panty and Stocking are just about 8.5 inches. Now, because we're looking at the two of them, the width of their base is about 6.5 inches. The furthest reaches of the figure from the edge of Stocking's hair to like Panty's little flare thing here, a little under 7 inches. Probably also including some of Panty's hair over here. That's kind of, again, this is very loose. It's kind of hard to measure that sometimes. Front to back for the base is just about 3 inches. And from the widest point, which would be their fingers or their knees, to the back of their hair, about, I'd say 4.5 inches. So yeah, there are the measurements. Yippee! Anyways, that's Panty and Stocking. I was really excited to get these girls because I'm not kidding you guys, I've wanted a Panty and Stocking figure for so long because they used to have so many cool ones. But at the time, I was a young high school child with no money, so I couldn't just buy figures at my whim, and also it maybe wasn't as easy to buy some things as they are these days at the time. Anyways, that is going to bring us to the end of this video. Obviously, I did still have my gripes, but these are pop-up parade figures. While I don't think these are as cheap maybe as some of their other ones just because there is the 2-pack, they are still cheaper overall. I still think the pose was really good for both of the girls. Sort of minus points on Stocking though, obviously, because her head, I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but her head just is a little too tilted over. And again, I think that is technically accurate from the scene that it's from, but it just feels a little too much. I do still think the overall colors selected for this were good. There was some shading on more than one part that helped elevate this beyond just being this flat colors on everything. I do still think, again, paint could have been better. Obviously, the panties on both of them, again, you guys, I know it's stupid, but this is Panty and Stocking. What are we doing when we're giving them plain white panties? And again, I think technically in this scene, they didn't have their weapons or whatever. I don't care. This is a figure that I am buying that doesn't need to be absolutely 100% perfectly accurate, because maybe technically they don't even have any underwear on in the scene, so we have to put some underwear on them, so they just chose white? Okay, well, choose something better then, if we're gonna have to make shit up. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. I even think they could have added stockings on this, just because that's part of her character and that's part of this outfit. When she's not using her sword, I think that wouldn't have been a terrible thing for her, because it does just add that little bit of extra. It's a little extra design element for her character, especially since these obviously don't include the weapons that they would probably have here. You know, what do you guys think? I would love your thoughts and opinions, I guess. But I will be posting more pictures of them on my Instagram. That's gonna be at Desunasis. There's also pictures of all of my other figures that I've collected. And I think my Stocking is on there as well, but she's a bit of an oldie now. I've had her for a while, so you'd be scrolling for quite a bit to get to that. I really appreciate you if you watched to this point. If you like my video, you should subscribe and like the video, you know, good old YouTuber stuff. But I do make videos about once a month, and I do stream on YouTube and TikTok every Tuesday and Thursday around 10 p.m. Eastern. So I would love to see you guys there. We have a lot of fun, and sometimes you can derail me where I just bring my figures out on stream because someone asks and I go, okay. There's all these other places you guys can find and follow me down in the description below, so you should check that out as well. Lots of things to see and do. Probably not that much, but don't worry about it. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys had a great last month, and I hope you guys have a great next month. Eggs on, eggs on, eggs on, eggs on your face. I got you, stupid dumb idiots. It's becoming a thing. It's becoming a thing, right guys? Right. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.